Before we get into this episode, remember to like below and hit subscribe right here to get more content from the Tiger Lawyer. Now let's get started. It wasn't until the landmark decision of June 15, 2020, that 7 states, including Ohio, had any protections for LGBTQ discrimination. Although this new decision from the Supreme Court of the United States protects the LGBT community on a federal level from employment discrimination, it is still important that we are working toward statewide protections such as the Ohio Fairness Act. This act protects against employment discrimination, housing discrimination, and discrimination in accessing basic goods and services. So what does this Supreme Court decision mean for LGBTQ employment in Ohio? Having a Supreme Court decision on the issue finally gives the LGBTQ community equal rights to employment across the nation. It also removes the immediate risk of losing protections in your state or city after every election. And it gives the LGBTQ community a national right to legal counsel when they've been wronged in an employment situation. There are 2 types of employees, public and private. Public employees across the country are protected by Obama's Executive Order 13672 that prohibited discrimination in the civilian federal workforce on the basis of gender identity and in hiring by federal contractors on the basis of both sexual orientation and gender identity. Private employees can now look to the new Supreme Court decision for guidance. Although this new decision protects employees from being fired specifically for being gay, lesbian, or transgendered, it may not be able to protect an employee for being fired if given another reason, such as showing up late or not following a gendered dress policy. Before this decision, only 27 cities and 1 county in Ohio had laws protecting employment. Of all cities that offered protections to LGBTQ citizens, employment was not only the most common, but in very few situations did Ohio cities provide additional protections outside of employment. That is why the Fairness Act is still important for a better Ohio. We still have a long way to go to fully protect the LGBTQ community. However, this positive Supreme Court decision puts us on the right path. If we keep up the momentum, it could lead to more access to basic rights across the state and even the country. It's important to know which cities have your rights covered. They are Akron, Athens, Beechwood, Bexley, Bowling Green, Canton, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, Columbus, Coshocton, Dayton, East Cleveland, Kent, Lakewood, Medina, Newark, Olmsted Falls, Oxford, Sandusky, Shaker Heights, South Euclid, Springfield, Toledo, Worthington, Yellow Springs, Youngstown, and Cuyahoga County. If your city isn't listed, there's a good chance you may not have other rights in your community. If you like this episode, please like below or subscribe here. We'll be continuing this series on LGBTQ rights in Ohio and beyond, as new information, legal news, and more landmark decisions are made across the country. This has been Attorney Doug Mann, and I'll see you next time on The Tiger Lawyer.